there! Okay, so this is my CAS reflection for my activity called Aiding at the Totara Hospice. This is my summer service and I'm going to be telling you what I did for a week. But before that, the reason I chose to do this activity was because my granddad was in this hospice about 3 years ago. And so I thought I'd do this in memory of him. So that's the main reason why I chose to do it, was because I had an emotional connection to the place. Okay, yeah, so I also initiated this activity. That means I got in contact with Katie Patterson, who is under the volunteering services department here at the South Auckland Hospice, and usually they don't allow people my age to come and help out and volunteer, but she said I sounded lovely over email and was happy to have me. So if Katie's watching this, thank you so much for letting me be a part of the hospice for a week. I really did have a great time and it was really nice working with all of you. So Monday to Friday. Okay, so on Monday, on Monday I walked into the Totara Hospice. Let me just shift view. Oops, sorry. And close it. Yeah, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so on Monday I walked in and we had tea and she showed me around the place. The last time I was there, it was about 3 years ago, and that was when my grandfather passed away. And at the time they were planning to refurbish the whole place and renovate it, but I wasn't around to see all that, so when I went back now they've totally changed it up. Now my grandfather's room is a physio gym and it's got everybody, all the inpatients go there to get their movement, their workout, and so it's really good. I'm sure my grandfather would have loved to have everybody be in the room he was in, as he was such a people's person. Yeah, so on the first day, Monday, I went in, I had tea, walked around, saw the place, saw how it developed, and I met most of the people there. So I was introduced to all the different departments and some of the main people that were there. Then Katie took me in and she introduced me to Janine, who's in charge of the day hospice. And the day hospice is mainly it's a community gathering of outpatients, so patients that have a really strong mind but a weak body. They come in and we do different activities with them to take their mind away from all the aches and pains they have and so on and so forth. Yeah, so that was really lovely. And Katie promised me that on each day I was there I would do something different. So beginning with Monday, I started off with the day hospice, and Wendy came in, who is the musical leader. She allowed me to be a part of the musical jam session where I played the double bass, so developing new skills right here. Yeah, so I met Wendy and Michael was also there. Michael's from Dunedin and he's down for a 7-week course of volunteering as well, so it was lovely to meet other people who are volunteering along with myself. He's obviously much older compared to me, but you know, it was really nice meeting him. And after our musical jam session where I played the double bass, it wasn't actually a real double bass, it was like a cylindrical box with a pole and then a string, which created the same sound as the double bass, which was still lovely, and I enjoyed that because it's something different, you know? So I did that, and then right after our musical jam session, I had a 1-hour presentation that I had to present to the outpatients. And basically I talked about my life in Abu Dhabi, my school life, my friends, what's it like to be living there. And the objective of this it's mainly to give these outpatients something to think of and to give them a new experience and a new journey that they can't travel on per se. So that's what I did. I met them all. There was David, who was there, Shirley. These are all names of outpatients. And it was lovely. I talked about myself and my life there. I managed to gain the attention of people or patients that don't usually listen or pay attention to what's happening. So I really enjoyed that. And Janine, who was there, she used to guide me along with it. So if I was like, okay, what else am I going to talk about, she would ask me something else, and I would follow up on that. In fact, they really liked how I was talking and engaging the attention of all the outpatients, to the point where Janine was like, okay, all the staff, come and listen to Tashida. She sounds so eloquent. So I had a bunch of people come in and listen to my story, and I've never really done a talk like that, so that was kind of like a leadership role that I took on, and something that I initiated and planned out in my own way. So that was really lovely. And right after that, Katie came back and took me while the rest of the outpatients had lunch. I went off with Katie and we did the hospice shops. So basically, these hospice shops are shops located in different areas of Auckland. So you have one, I'm going to list some names: Papakura, Takanini, Manarewa, Manukau. You have these hospice shops, and they're full of people's belongings or cutlery or plates and cups, and they're all sold at a much lower price. So like you could get a t-shirt for $2 or something like that, and they're all other people's belongings. So like if a patient were to pass away and you had like their house appliances, sofas, I don't know, toasters and stuff like that, you bring them into the hospice shops, and the hospice shops will sell them, and the profit gained from that will be used as part of more fundraising activities for the hospice to provide the medical care that is needed. Now, I don't think I've mentioned this, but anyone watching, or even Miss Moral, if you guys are not too sure about what a hospice is, it's basically the last stop of a patient's medical health turn. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically when patients go to a hospital and the doctors can't do anything anymore, the doctors send them to the hospice, and basically they live their last days there until they pass on. My granddad was like that. He was there for about a week, and then that was it for him. So yeah, it's a part of life, I guess, and it was lovely meeting other people who volunteer and help out for the hospice. You don't have a salary unless you have like a specific position. So people that work in the hospice shops, they do it all for free. So basically we went there to check in with them, ask them how they were, if they needed anything, and just talk to them and just make sure that everything was en route for them. So yeah. And then my shifts usually for the day hospice, not the day hospice, I mean the hospice in general, was from 10 to 3. So we could only do 2 hospice shops on Monday, and then I went back home. So that was it for day 1. I totally enjoyed myself talking about Abu Dhabi and all of that. It was great. Okay, on Tuesday I came back in, and Tuesday was interesting. For the people watching, the reason I'm looking down is because I wrote everything that I did on the back of this paper, because I knew that I would forget when I came back to talk about it. Yeah. It's Monday now, and last week was when I volunteered, so just kind of recapping is a bit difficult. Yeah, so on Monday I walked in and I was part of the day hospice again, and we had our musical jam session once more, but this time I played the ukulele. Now I thought it was going to be like playing a guitar, but by golly, the chords were also different, and it was a new experience. So developing new skills again and new challenges and all those CAS objectives, yay. Yeah, I played the ukulele to songs that outpatients wanted. They did a song I liked, which was awesome, and that was Summer Holiday. Yeah, we did Island in the Sun, we did some Maori songs, so I was learning new languages. Yeah, I did learn a bit of Maori, so that was pretty cool, yeah. Okay, right after our musical session, I had my presentation again, where I talked about Abu Dhabi. I try to focus on different aspects of Abu Dhabi and the Emirates and what it's like to live there in the Middle East in general every day. So the patients get something different, and please note that each day you have a new group of patients. So on Monday, I told you I met David and Shirley. On Tuesday, I met Radar, Bev, Shirley, and Leanne. Now, Radar and Shirley are the patients. Bev and Leanne, Leanne's a worker there who carries out a mindfulness activity, and Bev is a volunteer there who actually knew my granddad when he was there 3 years ago. And I gotta say, throughout each day of this week, there was just one person that I connected with so well. And they absolutely loved me, and they were so glad that I was doing this at such a young age. And the reason I chose to do this was because of my grandfather, but also because I want to go into the health sector when I'm older, specifically the medical industry. So it kind of gives me an insight into like geriatrics and so on and so forth. On Tuesday, so I met different patients. I met a patient that had a voice activation machine in his throat, and because he can't talk, because they can't speak, they have this voice activation machine which says what they're saying but in a different kind of voice. It's almost like a robot, but it helps them communicate. Radar, he was fine. I mean, they all have some kind of disability or like some kind of disease in some way, even though their mind is strong. And Radar, I'm not sure what he had. They wouldn't tell me because it's like, I'm just a volunteer, I'm not really the doctor, so I wouldn't really have an insight into that. But he was a pilot when he was younger. So during lunch I actually talked to him for a while, and he told me some of his stories. But yeah, after going back to my presentation, I don't have a photo of that or video of that because everybody didn't want to really take a video of that since they wanted to listen to me. And sometimes you can't take photos of the outpatients there because they are afraid that you could use it for promotion or advertising, and to get their permission is a lot of paperwork and so on and so forth. So I left it at that, but I really enjoy talking about Abu Dhabi and the Emirates and the Middle East in general, or even the sheikhs and my school, the segregation aspect. It's very different to life here. Over in Auckland, you can do so many things outside. Like, it's such a beautiful day today. You could go canoeing or do a bush chill, but over in Abu Dhabi you just go to the mall. So a completely different lifestyle. So I enjoyed talking about that and sharing my experiences and my day-to-day life over there in Abu Dhabi. Right after I finished talking about Abu Dhabi, I met another lady called Lorraine, and she is a Reiki practitioner. She's originally Russian, and she came up to me and she was like, "Oh, I don't usually see you around here." So I introduced myself, and what happens is basically each day a service is given. So like on Monday there was a masseuse who gave massages. So on Tuesday there was this healer, and I don't know if you've heard, but Reiki is a form of Japanese healing, and she did explain it to me. She told me about how each human body has 8 chakras, and it's about the energy flow of the body. So to cleanse your chakras, you put in new refreshing energy and you take out the old energy. So she told me a bit of her life story, but I won't share it here because I guess it's something personal to her that she might not want to tell the whole world. Yeah. So I didn't actually, when I went in, I didn't know what Reiki was. So she explained it to me, and she was like, "Would you like me to do it for you?" And I was like, "You know what? That sounds awesome. I've never tried it, and I'd love to." So 18 minutes of Reiki, you can actually feel the energy flowing out of your body. Like, I could feel it going out through my legs, the palms of my hands, and the top of my head, and it was awesome. Something really different. Yeah, something really, really different, which was great because I had a new adventure right there. Yeah, so after going in, seeing patients, having the musical session, Reiki, I had lunch. Then I talked to Radar, and he told me about his piloting experiences and his life when he was much younger, which was great. I mean, of course, like I don't remember every single thing, but I got a little bit of his life, I'd say. I think the traffic outside is a bit loud, so I'm gonna close the window. It's just quite hot at the same time. Okay, and then right after lunch, I met Leanne, and sun. I'm sorry, the sun is so bright. Okay. I met Leanne, and I think this is good. I'm gonna hold it here. Yeah. So I met Leanne, and she carries out a mindfulness activity. And basically, with a mindfulness activity, you have to concentrate on a specific part of your body. So like she would be like, everybody close your eyes and start breathing. So you breathe, inhale, exhale, and you focus on that breathing pattern. And right after you do that, she'd be like, okay, focus on your legs, focus on your ankle, focus on your knees, your palms, and you focus on that motion. And by the end of it, everybody really feels something different. It's meant to calm you and take you away from your thoughts of thinking about the past or worrying about what you're going to do after this activity or thinking about the future. It's meant to calm you and relax you and just keep you sane, I think, yeah. So I did that with her, and she asked everybody, like, asked the patients there, like, how did that feel? Was it interesting, or like how did you feel? And some were like, oh, it was really relaxing. It calmed me. For me, I could still feel the energy moving out of my legs and my hands and my head. And I told her that. I was like, oh my god, like I felt all those things. And she's like, it happens all the time, but none of us actually take a second to think about it and to focus on it and to feel that way. So that was really crazy. And we did that until the end of the day, and then I went home again. Yeah. So then on Wednesday, David Burton came in, and he is the founder of Burton's Coffee. Apparently very famous. He's a New Zealand judge for coffee, tea, and chocolate testing. And so this is Wednesday, yeah. So he came in, and before he came in, actually, he was setting up, and he was taking a bit longer than usual. So Janine, she asked me if I could do my presentation once more. So I did give an introduction into Abu Dhabi life for about half an hour this time compared to like an hour. But once again, everybody was really intrigued. So that was awesome. So after doing that, my handwriting is so terrible right now. Yeah, so after the speech, David Burton came in, and he gave us different things to taste. Some were like, okay, sipping chocolate. It was rich in chocolate, and he brought it in on a machine, and basically he mixed it up, and then he served it to us. So we all got a sip of it, and it was really, really tasty. Yeah, and I have a photo of it under my managed back evidence, so you can have a look there. Along with that, I tried licorice tea. Now, I'm not a fan of licorice. I really don't like it, but I tried it. I didn't really like it, I gotta say, but it was something different. And he kept talking about his life and blah blah blah, and he also said like he wants to create drinks that keep the taste from the time you sip it in to all the way back. So with this licorice tea, every sip was so strong. Oh my god, it was crazy. But I tried it, and I'm glad I did, because that's something different. I've never really tried licorice tea, so I'm glad I did. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Yeah. After him, we had our musical jam session again with Wendy, and I played the double bass, and we did some of the songs that outpatients wanted to do. And then we had lunch, and I had lunch. I met Lorraine and Flo, both really amazing outpatients. Flo had donated a guitar, and she was like, I want you to play this guitar. So I think next time I go in, maybe this coming Wednesday, because I really want to go see everybody again, I might go in and play the guitar for a bit. And then after lunch, we had the mindfulness activity with Lorraine again. So much of the same kind of theme, focus on your breathing movement, and it just calms everybody down. Yeah. And then that was it for Wednesday. And then on Thursday, there was no musical jam session and no more day hospice. So on Thursday, I was part of the art group. Yeah, something different, right? So I was part of the art group, and actually, let me grab, oh, I forgot to bring it with me out here in the conservatory. Let me just grab it really, really quickly. Okay, got it. Okay, yeah, so I was in the art group, and that's when you also, it's part of having same kind of activity for outpatients as well. So they came in, and I gotta say, I don't know if I'm good at drawing, but I tried my best, because most of this art, it goes back into the hospice and it goes into their art exhibitions, and I attempted to do it. And Miss Morrill, you're gonna be so proud of me, but I think I did really well. I used color pencils, crayons, and and I drew this freehand. I drew a cat freehand, and I don't like cats, but I don't know why I did it. I think Miss Morrill, I'm gonna give this to you, but I did it. Here is my beautiful art piece. I don't even know if you can see it properly because the sun is so bright. That's my cat. I have a better photo of it. The sun's shining. But yeah, I have a better photo of it under my manage back. Can you see it? Kind of, yeah. I have it under my manage back evidence. And right after I finished Felix the cat, the winter kitty, sorry, I did another one. This was actually supposed to be like those shells you find by the beach, but it looked like an octopus head to me, so I just continued making it an octopus, and I wrote here, you can't have a rainbow without a little rain, just to boost up their spirits and have that enthusiasm there. So that was what I did in the art group, and I met Elizabeth, who found lots of animals for me to keep me occupied. So I did the cat, because I thought that was going to be easy, fast, get it done, boom, and it's awesome, and I love it, and everybody else seemed to love it, and they took a photocopy of it, and they just gave it to everybody who was there, so really proud of my efforts right there. Creativity swag. Yeah, so after doing Felix and the octopus, I had an afternoon shift with Katie in the inpatient unit, and she told me everything I needed to know about medical care, bedside manners, all of that. And I made a friend called Noel, and he was in the inpatient unit, so these are patients that actually stay there, and of course they would be living their last days. So it's sad, but I'm glad that I was there for them and I could help them and give them bliss. Yeah. So I met Noel, and I used to make his coffees. Coffee with milk and 3 sugars. Yeah, and he was lovely. He also had the voice activating machine because of some, I don't know what exactly they have. I mean, it's confidential, but you know, you focus on the individual and not what's wrong with them, I'd say. Yeah, so I worked in the inpatient unit. Katie told me she taught me like everything. I now know how to clean medical beds. They use kind of like a wet wipes kind of thing called Tuffy, and they use that to wipe the medical bed. I know how to lay out or to strip a bed and then to put it all together again. That's basically using all the linen cloth. I'm just trying to remember how we did it. Yeah, so we took it all apart and we put it all back in. And she told me when you put the pillows on the bed, the closed end has to be facing the door, and that's for appearance purposes. Yeah. So I helped out with there. I also helped in the kitchen. So we served lunch, we made lunch, we washed the dishes. We had to like soak them, and then we put it into the sanitizing machine where it sanitizes all the dishes cups, medicine cups, and all of that. And then we would wipe it and we put it away. We would also have to create the trays for lunch. There were just so many things you could do. You had to go check on the patients, check on the families of the patients, check that all the sunrooms were clean, the bathrooms were clean, everything was clean, everything that was needed to be in the family room with the fridge with all the family's food was all right, and everything was topped up from coffee, tea, milk, everything. So we did that. And I spent 3 hours doing that IPU shift, but by gosh, it was amazing, and I loved it. Honestly, I gotta say that was my favorite part of the week. I mean, being in IPU, I absolutely loved it. I met the chef there. Her name's Sandy, and her assistant chef Mel, and I helped them make lunch. And everybody is so close-knit there. It's just amazing to see the Kiwi community get together to help people. I gotta say, like, the healthcare systems in New Zealand are fabulous. We look after our patients just amazingly, and it's been like this for years. Okay. Now, oh yeah, so after my IPU shift, I left, and then I came back again on Friday. It was my last day, and Katie said I could do another IPU shift. This time it was a morning shift, and I did it with Robert and Jendi. Robert is a Singaporean. All of these volunteers are very much older. I think I'm the youngest, being 16 and helping out, but it was great working with them. So this time we did the same. We did the whole lunch. We did morning tea. So we prepared coffee, tea, snacks, muffins, everything for the staff as well as the patients. We took along the cleaning trolley, which was awesome. I didn't get to take a photo of that, sadly, but we cleaned the garbage bins, and we cleaned the sinks, and we sanitized the beds, did the laundry, did the garbage disposal, cleaned up the kitchen. Oh my gosh, we did so many things that morning. We served morning tea to the florists. There are all these volunteers that come in and they bring in their flowers, and they do different flowering decorations for the hospice, which is really lovely. So new flowers every week with different designs. And then after doing that IPU shift, I had like my own volunteering badge, which could open and close the doors, so that was really cool. I mean, there's so much that I did that I can't just express in this video because it's all up in my head. I mean, it's things you learn, and I don't know, like, you can't exactly explain it all, but this is just an overview of that. So after my IPU shift, I did administration work. So I did, what happened was, the hospice is sponsoring the winemakers lunch, which is actually happening this weekend, and they got in new people to help to go. Like, they put in a raffle, draw of all these names of volunteers, and whoever was lucky and was picked out, I had to write a compliments card, which is also under my manage back photos to see, where I thank them for, confirming their presence there, and giving them the flyer and posting it to them with all the information. So I did that for about half an hour. After that, Katie was like, "You're gonna make some phone calls now," and I'm just like, "Oh my god, I've never done this in my life." And I was so nervous because, like, yeah, you've talked to people over the phone, but here you're talking to dermatologists and all that. So I talked to a Russian dermatologist called Bogdan. He was lovely, and Katie was like, "Oh, I don't think he's gonna answer the phone, so you can just leave him a voicemail." But he answered the phone, so I gotta have a little chat with him. And I just reminded him of his weekend shifts and all of that. So I did that for about 7 people. And after doing that, what did I do? I forgot what I did. Oh yeah, I read biographies because I had half an hour left on that day, so I just read biographies of patients that were there in the hospice, some who passed away, some who are still alive. And I read one of a mother who has 2 children, and she has a type of cancer that kind of affects the side of a woman's part. So it's to do with the whole delivering aspect and conceiving a child and all of that. I mean, it was really sad, but it puts you into a new perspective. And I think if I'm going to be a doctor, I need to be able to relate to my patient instead of just saying the problems that they have. I need to give them solutions and be able to feel what they feel, because if you can understand how a person feels, you know how to approach them, how to give them different solutions to help them and ease their pain. So I learned so much like that. And then after that, I got to go home. That was the end of the week. Oh, and Katie wrote up a reference for me right here. I have 3 copies of the Totara Hospice. I actually have to email this to you, but I think I should say it now just in case anything were to happen to this. So Katie wrote this up along with Janine. They put it together for me, which I'm so ever grateful for, so I thought I'll just read it now. Okay. To whom it may concern, Toshida Singh joined the Totara Hospice South Auckland Volunteer Services team on volunteer placement for the week of 4th to 8th August. I do not usually take on students for a full week placement. However, Toshida sounded so delightful and enthusiastic over email that I decided we could accommodate in this instance. She has been ever more of a delight in person, a real breath of fresh air, and incredibly mature and insightful for her young age. She has been very busy this week, helping out in many areas of the organization. She spent Monday through Wednesday in our day hospice. Day hospice is an opportunity for community patients to visit the hospice and enjoy social activities. So this is the outpatients, where the musical jam was happening. That's all under day hospice. Toshida spoke to the group about her life in Abu Dhabi. She was very engaging and eloquent and was able to put patients at ease. Even those who were generally not engaging listened intently to her story. She also visited the hospice shops on Monday and connected with our volunteers in the shops. On Thursday, she helped out in the art group and in our inpatient unit. And on Friday, she helped out in our inpatient unit again and also assisted with administrative tasks, writing letters, emails, and making phone calls. She has approached each task with enthusiasm, maturity, and professionalism. Her smile and positive energy have been very much appreciated, and I am very grateful that I have had this wonderful opportunity to work side by side with such a kind-spirited, bright, and engaging person this week. If she called again, I would not hesitate to welcome her back. Regards, Katie. So this was kind of the last part to my adventure at the Totara Hospice here in South Auckland. So I think I've talked about every bit of my day. I think that this activity has met most of the criteria and objectives of CAS. It's brought out a lot of my strengths, my weaknesses, so many new challenges. I've developed so many new skills. It's been such an insightful experience, and it's given me such a wonderful endeavor. I'm so grateful that I've had this opportunity, and I think it's taught me a lot that I've needed to know. I mean, everybody there is either a retired nurse or doctor, so I've learned so much from them, and I think what they're doing for this community is absolutely fantastic. So it's been great. Obviously, this activity required a lot of commitment and perseverance, and I put in the dedication that I needed. I was the one who initiated this activity, so with all my heart I did every task with love and effort, and I made sure that whatever I did it well and to my best ability. This activity has a lot of it's obviously of global importance. I mean, we're talking geriatrics here. It's healthcare for senior citizens. We have to be, as a country, as a person, as a human, we have to be able to give our fellow neighbors, sisters, brothers this kind of healthcare, being at their service at all times, and being with them and giving them the support needed for them. Within the hospice, you have so many departments. You have like all the nursing, all the nursing staff. You have the doctors. You have med students that volunteer here. You have the volunteering services department. You have the family services, so they go and talk to the families of the patients and check if everything's okay. This hospice dedicates so much of its time and effort and money into their patients, and everybody is so gifted there and so lovely, and they're such spectacular people. I've really enjoyed my time there. Like I've said continuously, it's been an amazing experience for me. I've done so much, from hospice shops to my musical jam sessions to daycare and meeting patients both in and out. I mean, it's awesome. Now I think I'm gonna finish up here by thanking everybody for this opportunity. This video is much shorter than my last one, sadly. My other one would have been more detailed and more enthusiastic. I'm really disappointed in myself that the other video didn't come out as well, and I hope this one does. But if you're willing to listen to the other one, which is about an hour, that has, of course, more details into my adventure there. But I think this was directly straight to the point. I've pretty much gone through my day-to-day activity there, and it's been a wonderful opportunity, so I'm so grateful that I've had the opportunity to do this. Yeah, so thank you everybody for making this happen, and I hope you enjoy hearing my story of my adventure being there. So it's been wonderful, so thank you. And hopefully this video comes out like I wanted to. Yeah, so bye.